Deepti Kalahan joins me on the set for a look at the papers today. Hi, Deepti.
Hi, Jeannie.
You're going to start, like you have most of this week, with French politics and Emmanuel Macron.
That's right. The French president did give that televised speech to the nation yesterday. It came 3 days after his party lost its parliamentary majority in those parliamentary elections. He ruled out a national unity government, instead really putting the onus on his political rivals, whom he called on to make compromises. That's the focus of this editorial from the right-wing paper Le Figaro today. The left-wing paper Libération says the French president is worn out or maybe overwhelmed. That's the word on the front page there. The paper really dubious of Macron's strategy of what they say is buying time and seeking to make his political opponents responsible for any of that future deadlock that might happen in Parliament. The paper's editor is noting that, the French president clearly hasn't understood the message that French voters were trying to send to him in denying him that parliamentary majority.
Now, another left-wing paper, L'Humanité, is warning that Macron is actually playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, this is in reference to his bid to end the stalemate, and in doing so, he hasn't ruled out a turn to the far right, even allowing his party members to sort of start courting the far right, according to this paper. Once more, L'Humanité says, a step further towards normalizing the far right party, which is why its headline there reads that Macron is playing with fire.
Moving on now, you found quite a few reactions to the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's visit to Turkey yesterday.
Well, strangely, not in the Turkish press. Not a lot being said there. But in the Saudi press, yes, a lot. It's on the front page of Arab News today. The Crown Prince, of course, visiting Turkey for the first time since the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Turkey in 2018. His gruesome assassination led to Saudi Arabia really being disgraced on the international scene, sort of being made a pariah, and since then the Crown Prince has really gone to a lot of efforts to sort of demonstrate that Saudi Arabia is reformed, that it's open to the world, that kind of thing. And now, aided by the oil crisis sparked by the war in Ukraine, his neighbors are finally sort of starting to open up to him. Arab News, the Saudi paper, hails the turning of a new page and welcomes these closing of ties, saying it's a really good thing. It's crucial to the development of the region.
Now, not everyone, of course, is convinced by these warming ties. Khashoggi's widow herself has given an interview to the Times of London.
Yeah, Hatice Cengiz calls bin Salman's visit heartbreaking, and she really laments Turkey's change in diplomacy in this article from the Times of London today. Cengiz played a crucial role in unraveling what happened to Jamal Khashoggi, because she's the one who alerted the Turkish authorities to his disappearance. With Khashoggi's death, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was sort of using it as an opportunity to establish himself as sort of a moral leader in the Middle East. Cengiz says it appears now that Turkey has closed the chapter on Khashoggi's death, which she calls unacceptable, but an unfortunate reality of realpolitik.
Deepti, something completely different now back here in France. And one of France's favorite footballers turns 50 today.
That's right. Zinedine Zidane, Zizou, to most French football fans. He turns 50 today, Jeannie. A chance for the French sports paper L'Équipe to look back at his illustrious career as a footballer, part of France's 1998 World Cup winning team, of course, but also as a wildly successful coach of Real Madrid. In honor of Zizou, L'Équipe has graciously given him the masthead of its front page there, Zinédine, in place of what normally is the logo of L'Équipe. And in this interview today, Zizou also answers two eternal questions. Does he want to coach Paris Saint-Germain? The answer is a mysterious maybe, and a more decisive yes to one day maybe becoming the next coach of France's national team.
Can totally see that happening. All right, just to wrap up now, Deepti, some music news. And the Glastonbury Music Festival is back on this year after a 3-year absence due to COVID.
That's right. The festival is always very much about making statements, whether it's fashion statements or political ones, Jeannie. A 2.5-meter high mud toilet has been erected at the festival from the festival's own urban mud and compost produced from toilets at the previous editions. It's the initiative of WaterAid, a charity that calls the statue the Big Bug statue, aiming to raise awareness around climate change and the impact it has on millions of people's access to water and sanitation. The Big Bug statue is also deliberately fragile, so if it can be washed away if it rains too much, it can also crackle under the searing heat if it's there. A sobering reality of how fragile our planet is. The festival, of course, is also famous for its huge headliners and camping spirit. Would you like to go glamping, maybe, Jeannie? There's a hotel at the festival that comes with its own toilets, which is actually a luxury at Glastonbury.
Yes.
Restaurants, a restaurant, a bar, spa, and pool. The 5-bedroom campsite can accommodate 10 people if they're all willing to fork in for the 24 grand it costs over 5 days.
Okay. If it has air conditioning, that would be a plus too. It has been hot here recently. Deepti, thank you for that. Deepti, go on with your look at today's press review. Don't forget, you can always check it out again on our website or listen to the podcast if you like. The address, france24.com.